Hey y'all, Allie here, making an appearance and showing my face on YouTube. It's been a minute, but I wanted to come on here and share a little something with you guys. I posted on my social media this morning about letting go, and I had another girlfriend who kind of felt called to do the same thing and post about letting go. And it might be because of the season that we're in. We are so close to spring equinox. It is winter coming to an end. And that is basically just, winter is the death of a lot of things, plants and whatnot, animals go into hibernation. And spring is so freaking magical because spring is like that perfect time to plant the seeds and watch shit grow. And our tortoises actually just came out of hibernation. I mean, I guess they don't hibernate. I don't know. They do. They go in their hole for like months. And they're coming out now and greeting the sun, even though it's been raining quite a bit where we're at. So anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about letting things go and beginning that practice now so that we are ready to embrace the new and we are ready to just take on life with a new perspective. And me and my son do some work together in an audiobook and then a journal. It's called The Untethered Soul, and it's really, really great. And what we're learning about right now is letting go. And basically, when disturbances come about in our lives, they kind of move and change our energy. And typically, a disturbance is not that positive. It's something that feels heavy on us. It's something that makes our heart feel heavy. Even if it's something as small as someone cutting you off in traffic, that could upset you enough to snap in your kids in the back seat. And then, it's like this perpetual cycle of feeling guilty. Now you yelled at your kids, so now you might even be disappointed in yourself for that, so on and so forth. So I wanted to share with you guys a little challenge or a little tip or a little trick or something that you can do to kind of help implement this into your life. So basically, one is when you come into a disturbance or something happens, say you've always wanted that Tesla and it drives by and you start kind of being hard on yourself in your head about like, oh, well, I can't afford that Tesla. Like now I need a new job, and just kind of going down that rabbit hole of all the reasons why you can't have something, or why did that guy freaking cut me off? And so you're flipping him off and whatever. And all of that can cause the upset. So when something like that happens and the disturbance comes up inside of you, you can literally just stop mid-sentence. Just stop talking, stop thinking, and just relax your shoulders. Take a breath and just remember that you want to have peace in your life, that you want to be able to just sit in your seat of consciousness as the soul and the light that you are in this vessel of meat that we're living in, and remember that everything is a choice. Everything we focus on is a choice. Everything we think is a choice. We don't judge our thinking. We don't have to judge our thinking. If we have negative thoughts, don't judge it. Just notice it and let it pass through you, and don't let it get stuck there. So the challenge is when you start to see a disturbance, when you start to feel your energy change inside of you, just take that second in that moment, even mid-sentence, just stop, take a breath, relax, and let it go. Sometimes this can seem difficult, especially if you don't have a lot of practice doing it. And so that's why you do need to practice, so that it becomes easier and easier throughout your days, throughout your life. Something that I started doing a long time ago that kind of helped me with this was implementing in something positive to think about the negative situation. For example, if you wanted to, say, judge somebody for cutting you off. Okay, since I keep going with the cutting you off thing. You don't know what is going on with that person, right? So something you could think was like, well, maybe they just really needed to get to where they're going. It wasn't to me directly, right? So in turn, just be like, I'm so grateful that we're still driving safe and that they're going to get to where they need to go. If you find yourself thinking a negative thing about someone's hairstyle, if you're like, oh my God, like you catch yourself moving your energy into a heavy space where you're now thinking something about that other person, just implement something in there like, okay, every time I think about somebody else's clothes or hair or whatever they're doing, just take that second to redirect it back to yourself. And you can just be like, well, I'm so grateful that I love my hair. I'm so grateful that, I love my outfit. I'm grateful that I have the funds to afford the outfits that I love. Things like that can work. But if you don't need to do that, if you don't need the reminder to flip it to a positive and you can just let it go, then by all means, don't let your energy change. Don't let yourself get worked up because of little things in life. And eventually, once you start practicing this more and more with the little things, with someone honking at you at the stoplight, with someone having an opinion about you, you don't have to go there. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to take it in. You don't have to sit with it. You could just let it go. It's easier for these things to overflow into the bigger disturbances in life. So with your partner or with your kids or with whatever it is, like you don't have to engage with every single negative thing that goes on. You can really just pick and choose and let it go. And even if you need to say something, if you feel the need to defend yourself or say something, right? Which it's even better when you practice not defending yourself. That one was a hard week when me and my son were just sitting there like, okay, well, this happened. And okay, well, what did you say? Like, did you have to say something? And then it's like, oh no, I didn't say anything. And it's like, well, how did that make you feel? Not defending yourself when someone said something. Like really sitting with yourself and just kind of like thinking about all these things and realizing the way everything makes you feel and knowing that none of it is necessary. This duality in life is not necessary. It is all something that we choose to do. But eventually it can overflow into the rest of your life, and your partner can say something to you and you can realize that it's not about you, because everyone is in control of their own thoughts and their own feelings. And just because someone feels a certain way towards you doesn't necessarily mean that it's you. Yes, we all have things that we could probably work on in ourselves, but sometimes it's easier to make a change when you're not being told you need to make a change. But that's neither here nor there. That's not really what we're talking about. Getting off track. What we're talking about is letting things go that don't matter. So I'm going to read to you a couple of little challenges that were in this book. It's absolutely amazing. So today, when you notice yourself getting disturbed by something, practice relaxing very deeply in the midst of the disturbance. Can you, the consciousness, because your consciousness is your soul, your ness that is like inside this body, right? Can the consciousness relax even if the negative thoughts and the disturbance continue? So if something isn't stopping, sometimes you feel patient, you feel like, okay, I'm not going to say anything, and then it's not stopping. Like, can you relax enough to just, let it go? It will feel as though the disturbance is out in front of you and you are falling back behind it. So I always think of it like watching a movie. Like you can basically watch your life like you're watching a movie. And when there's a part that you don't necessarily love, you can just let it go, let it go. So what does it feel like to fall behind the disturbance? So definitely sit with yourself and check out how you're feeling when this happens. It might be uncomfortable at first and you might not really enjoy it because it might make you feel like you didn't get to stand up for yourself, or you didn't get to defend yourself, or you didn't get to, do whatever it is that you're used to doing. But it'll get easier, and then you'll start to realize that it really does make a difference when you focus your energy on just living, just letting things pass through you and just living in the moment. And then write about this experience of noticing disturbance, relaxing and releasing, and allow the disturbance to pass through. So do a little bit of journaling there. And I love this little thing right here. It says, science has shown us how an underlying energy field forms into atoms, which then binds together into molecules and ultimately manifest into the entire physical universe. The same is true inside of us. Because we are made of everything in the universe. I definitely recommend the book, The Untethered Soul. It's freaking super amazing to just really break things down for you about your monkey mind and how these disturbances aren't necessary. I'll go ahead and I'll just read like this next page. It's pretty freaking cool. It says, there's a place deep inside of us. There's a place deep inside of you where the consciousness touches the energy and the energy touches the consciousness. That's where your work is. From that place, you let go. Once you've let go, every minute of every day, year after year, then that's where you'll live. Nothing will be able to take your seat of consciousness from you. You'll learn to stay here. After you've put years and years into this process and learn to let go no matter how deep the pain, you will achieve a great state. You will break the ultimate habit, the constant draw of the lower self. You will then be free to explore the nature and source of your true being, pure consciousness. The passages in this section of the journal have explored ways to become more aware of the place within you where consciousness and energy meet. Having worked through this section, how do you now recognize the draw of the lower self within yourself? Reflect on the thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, and other cues you've noticed when disturbances or blockages arise. Write about what you've learned and about letting go of these disturbances. So, as you know, we all have our telltales of when we're getting upset. One way that I definitely notice is my ears get hot. Like I feel like a cartoon character when they start going like, and the steam comes out of their ears. That happens with me. Of course, I can't see the steam, but my ears definitely start getting hot and they will get red. And people will even be like, oh my God, your ears are red. And I'm like, yeah, that means I'm getting a little worked up. And yeah, so anyway, I hope all of that made sense. It made sense for me. And hopefully you guys can challenge yourself a little bit. And when you recognize that your energy is beginning to change and that disturbance is arising in you, that you can just take a breath, take a break, and be mindful, relax, and let it pass through, let it go. It doesn't matter. I don't know, it's great. Like I feel like just living, experiencing life and trying to experience it in the fullest is kind of what life's all about. And I believe that our purpose here is to just reflect the light in other people back to them so that everybody can kind of see where living from this beautiful seat of consciousness can bring you. I hope that made sense too. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a wonderful evening. It is late and I'm going to go. Challenge yourself. Stop. Let it flow. Stop. Let it go. Breathe. Relax. Stop. Let it go. Yeah. Or implement in some positive things to help remind yourself to remember to remember. You have to remember to remember. Remember to remember. Bye, you guys.